Welcome to H2K Infosys. H2K Infosys is a e-verify business based in Atlanta, Georgia, United States. We provide 100% job-oriented, instructor-led, face-to-face, true live online software training programs. It also includes access to cloud test lab with software tools. We provide live project for you to work on. We also provide assistance with mock interviews, resume preparation and review, and job placement assistance. H2K Infosys is trusted by so many students across the world. H2K Infosys provides world-class services in IT training with real-time project work for corporates and individuals, special IT training for MS students in the United States, software design, development, QA manual and automation, performance testing and maintenance, IT staff augmentation, job placement assistance, and tech support.
Let's start today's class. Today we'll deal with Java data types and variables. Last time we have seen how to declare a variable along with the data type. Today we'll verify in depth what is meant by local and instance variables, and after that we'll see arrays. If we have some time, we'll cover operators as well. So in last class we have learned how to write a class and how to write a method and what is the method signature. And we have seen how to declare a variable also. We just need to specify the data type first, and then we need to specify the identifier, nothing but your variable name. So the variable name, for declaring the variable name, we have several restrictions. In the sense, we are supposed to follow certain rules for declaring the variables. Yes, Soumya, we'll deal with the methods in depth after covering operators and control statements. Definitely, it's just like I'm just telling whether you got the basic idea of like how to write a method signature. Now, to declare a variable also.
Krish, we did not do that, Krish, last week. I'm sorry. We did not do that last. Even the method declaration, we did not do it last time. Last class we dealt with only variables and then just printing out a statement on the console.
Okay, by using public static void main.
Yeah, and then just system.out.println.
Okay, yeah, I'll change that.
Okay.
Yep, thanks, Sonia. Okay, this is what I guess we have seen in last class. To create an object, how to create an object, that also we'll discuss later. And here we are only interested in printing the employee ID. That's what we have seen in the last class. So today we'll deal with much more information related to variables, and then we'll deal with the data types. So variable is nothing but a data holder, you can say, or you can say an identifier in memory representation. Currently we have employee ID and employee name. These two are the variables for employee class. So in terms of real world, it won't represent any real world entity. Once you have created any object only, then only you can say that the employee name is Krish and employee ID is 20. So at the time only you are providing a definite representation for the class by creating an object. So before that, we need to see what are all the rules that are available for declaring the variables. Any programming language, there are certain rules available to declare the variables, which are nothing but data holders. The first one is variables, they should start with alphabet or dollar symbol or underscore. So a variable declaration, it shouldn't start with a numeric type. So that means you are not supposed to use the variable declaration as one data or one employee ID. So it shouldn't start with a numeric number. And if at all, if you want to write a numeric number, once after specifying a single alphabet, the first letter should be alphabet, and once after that you can place the numbers at any place. Either you can place once after that. If you want to declare two employee IDs, you can declare employee ID 1 and employee ID 2. But the restriction is a variable name, variable declaration, it shouldn't start with a number. And the second thing is, it can also start with a dollar or underscore, but that's not a preferred one, because underscores, Java spec, it won't suggest to use underscore in between the variable names. So the only option that we are left with is the variable name should start with only a alphabet. And second thing is, variable name shouldn't be a keyword. Keyword in the sense, currently we are here using public and here we are using class. So these are all Java keywords. So when you are declaring a variable, you shouldn't specify a different keyword or keywords as variable names. If at all, if you are trying to, then it will throw an error, compiler error there itself. Next, lowercase and uppercase, both are different variable names. Both are different variable names. So if you are written like emp ID, and if you are trying to write int employee ID, both are different. So you should be taking care about declaring the variables with lowercase and uppercase letters. And the final thing is, there is no restriction in length of the variable name. So you can have any number of characters in declaring a variable name, and you can write a string also, like and there is no restriction in specifying the length of the variable name. You can have just like this, whatever that I have specified here. So these are the basic rules that we are supposed to follow when we are declaring the variables. Normally, we'll prefer only this particular syntax while declaring the variables, because it follows Java standard. The first letter should be small, and the next it was supposed to follow the camel case convention. The next thing that we need to know is what are the different types of variables that are available. There are totally 4 types of variables available, but as of now we can discuss only 2 of them, and we'll discuss rest of them later. So the first thing is instance variable. instance variable. So here we have mentioned that when we have specified any class, we are supposed to create objects for that. So objects in the sense let us say we have written some class here, and I'm writing some UML structure. So here we have specified employee ID, and after that we have specified employee name and salary and then designation. So this is our basic class structure. So by making use of this structure, we can create any number of objects. In the sense, after that we'll be going to provide, let us say this is Krish object, and this is Steve object, and this is Chris object or Pankaj object. You can have any number of objects that can be created based on the prototype or the blueprint that was already available. So for each and every object, so once you have declared an object, let us say you have created 3 objects here. You have created 3 objects. So objects nothing but in real world also, just imagine for Krish, for the first object, he'll have different employee ID, different employee name, and salary and designation. In the same way, Chris will also contain all the details, whatever our class will be going to represent it. So just like this, how many number of objects will be going to create? Each and every object will get their own copy of data. So data nothing but each and every object will get their own copy of variables. So these variables are called as instance variables. Instance, nothing but an object representation. So in general terms, instance, you guys already know, in the same way, instance variables are nothing but object variables. So once you have declared a class, that means you have just provided a blueprint and how many number of objects you'll be going to create. Each and every object will get their own copy of instance variables. And the data that was related to one object is not at all related to another object. If you change some information at this level, it won't affect at the other level. Is it audible now, Adil? Okay. Now, just now we have seen about instance variables, and instance variables are related to object level. So that means instance variables will be going to work at the object level, in the sense whenever we want to change some kind of data related to the object, you'll just make use of the object name and you'll be going to use the variable details and you'll be going to change the data. Now, let us take some method. Let us say this is public static void main is my method. Or else let us take some other methods, public void calculate sum. This one is taking 2 parameters. Last time we have seen what is meant by parameters or arguments. And let us think like this method will be going to calculate the addition of 2 numbers and will be going to return it back. So the return value is integer. So currently I am calculating the sum of 2 numbers in some integer sum a plus b. And after that I am supposed to return the value. Forget about all the syntax. You just need to get an overview. Finally, I'm supposed to return the value as sum. So the data type, whatever that I'm returning here, and the data type that I'm taking, it should match. then only the compilation will get success. Now the question is, here you see that I have declared a variable. The declaration of a variable, it consists of the data type and then variable name. And here you can see that here also I'm declaring a variable, but here I'm declaring the variable with respect to the method. It only the variable declaration was available within the method level. So the variable, whatever that you have declared at this level, it was not at all useful outside this method. So such type of variables are called local variables. Local variables are nothing but method level variables. If you guys didn't understand properly, no issues. We'll discuss about local variables one more time later. But just understand that local variables are related to method level. And instance variables, these are all instance variables which are declared inside the class, and they are related to instance level. Instance in the sense object level. Now we'll discuss about data types. Probably you might get good understanding about local variables once after that. Yeah, we'll discuss about objects, instance objects later, Adil. Static also we'll discuss later. Data types. Until now we have specified that whenever we are declaring a variable, we are supposed to specify the type of data that the variable will be going to handle. So in the sense, the employee ID holds integer data, and name contains a group of characters, and let us say we want some flag kind of information which holds whether the representation of variable contains a true value or false value. So that means you need to specify the data type for each and every variable, and your compiler will be going to verify whether you are passing the data properly or not. If you specify the data as employee ID and it is an integer, and if you are passing it as a string, your compiler won't accept that case. It will throw a compiler error. So there are several data types available, and first of all, they are categorized into numeric and non-numeric data types. Or you can say the top level, primitive and non-primitive data types. So if you guys are familiar with C or C++, it's the same, primitive or non-primitive. Primitive, nothing but basic data types which are required for any language. So in Java also they have provided several primitive data types, just like however they are available with respect to C language. Primitive data types, they are again categorized into two types. The first one is numeric data types, and the second one is non-numeric. So as the name suggests, numeric, which deals with numbers, decimal numbers, and non-numeric deals with characters and Boolean data types. Numeric. Numeric data types are nothing but, there are 4 integer data types available. Here numeric also we have specified 2 types. The first one is normal numbers and the second one is decimal numbers. So for numeric also they have categorized into 4 parts: integer, byte, short, int, long. So integer data type, integer nothing but zeros, ones, 2, 3, either it can be negative also, -3, -1, and so on. So these are normal integers, you can say whole numbers in terms of our mathematics. And integer, they are again divided into 4 parts. First one is byte, next one is short, and the next one is integer, and the last one is long. And for decimals, they have specified as floating points. Again, they are also divided into 2 parts, float and double. So the reason why they have specified or why they have categorized into 4 different types for integer is for byte represents a single byte. If you guys are already familiar with computer terminology. So byte is nothing but 8 bits. So a single byte occupies 8 bits in the memory. So in the memory section, so once the JVM has started and when the program is executing, and if you have declared a variable with byte emp id, then it will be going to allocate, let us think this is our JVM. So it will allocate only 8 bits. So we already know that employee ID won't hold more than 8 bits, then we can go for byte representation of employee ID. So that means if you are going for higher level, let us say you are taking short or integer or long, it will take more number of bits in the memory. And if you are writing some external application or the production related stuff, and if the memory is a constraint, then you shouldn't go for the integer or normal long variables when you have the capability of storing the data in terms of byte or short. So byte holds only 8 bits. Short holds 2 bytes, nothing but 16 bits. So it will be gradually increased. Now integers holds 4 bytes, long holds 8 bytes. So if you convert the byte representation to normal numeric, it will be around minus 32,768.2 plus 32,767. And this one is minus 128.2 plus 127. So if you are taking a byte variable and if you are specifying it as like this, 2232, which is not in the range of minus 128 to 127, it will automatically convert to a different number. So we should be taking care about how much range that we are specifying for the data type and what kind of value that you are providing. So if you haven't specified the correct value within the range, then Java compiler will automatically convert to a different value, and it will be going to store that value with employee ID. So normally we'll prefer to use only integer. If you guys remember, integer occupies only 2 bytes in C++ language, but in terms of Java, it occupies 4 bytes. That's all with respect to numeric data types. The next one is floating point data types. The floating point data type is used for representing decimal points, or you can say decimal numbers. So in the sense, if you want to specify the salary won't be in normal numeric format. It will be like $32.64 or $48.67. So this is how normally salary representation will be. So it is not possible for us to use normal numeric data types. So we should go for floating point data types only in case of representing the decimal numbers. So here also there are 2 types available. The first one is float and the next one is double. Again, the same reason, occupies 4 bytes, occupies 8 bytes. These 2 are used for numeric, and the next one is non-numeric. The first one is characters. The data type that we'll use is only one available, which is char, which specifies only a single character. and you should specify the character in single quotes. So char data, this is my variable name, and this is C is the actual value that will be going to hold by the data variable. So if you are going to specify some other stuff, your compiler will be going to throw an error. So you should specify only a single character with respect to character data type. See, ultimately, each and every variable declaration, it should follow by a data type and then variable name, and this is called initialization. Initialization nothing but providing some kind of data to the variable. So here I am providing the data as C, and I am using arithmetic operator, or you can say assignment operator. What I am doing is I am putting the value C in a variable called data. That's what I am doing here. And the next one is Boolean data types. So whenever we want flag kind of stuff, so the Boolean contains only two values, either it contains a true value or a false value. So if you want to specify some kind of conditions, if you want to verify some kind of conditions, that will be based on the Boolean variables only. So Boolean flag equal to false. So this is how you'll be going to declare the variable, the Boolean variables, by specifying the data type as Boolean and then name of the variable, and it will contain only two values, either it can be a false or it can be a true. True or false, both are keywords, so Java can understand true is for positive and false is for negative, and don't think like true is 1 and false is 0. It won't happen in Java. And here character also occupies 2 bytes. And for character representation, Java follows Unicode character set. If you guys remember in C++ or C, it follows ASCII code character set. But Java follows Unicode character set, which is nothing but internationalization representation. International representation. So that means characters you can write in Japanese language like a cap or a dot on the top will contain some extra character representations. So in Java, it's possible to specify those kind of those kind of characters as well. Now let us take a look at the memory representation for a variable. Let us say you have declared a variable here into employee ID equal to, you have declared a variable into employee ID, and forget about this line, and you have assigned the variable data as 20. So that means you have created an object and you have provided some data to the employee ID, specified the data value as 20. So go and represent that in the memory. So you have declared an integer, which means it occupies 4 bytes in the memory. Let us say this is 4 bytes of memory. And once after that, we have specified that the data that will be going to hold by the variable is 20. "20" is the data that will be going to hold by a variable called employee ID. This is how it will be going to be represented in the memory normally. So once you have assigned the data, to a variable, it will create 4 blocks or 4 bytes in the memory, and it will place the data in the memory, and it will represent the variable or the allocated memory name or identifier as employee ID. Non-primitive data types. just now we have seen the primitive data types, which are nothing but the basic language, basic programming language data types, which are available in all the programming languages. Currently, we have specified about declaring primitive data types, but how to create an object? For creation of an object, we need an operator called new. Let us say you have declared a class employee. So you already know that there are 3 employees that needs to be created as instances or as different objects. Let us say Krish, Lee, Steven. So these are the 3 objects that you are supposed to create based on the class called employee. So to create an object, nothing but you are supposed to allocate the memory for the object inside the JVM. Let me write one more. Let us say this is our JVM, and we want to create 3 objects here. JVM, nothing but your memory, whatever the memory that will be going to be allocated for your application. So here you want to create 3 objects. So the first one is Krish object, and the next one is Lee object, and the next one is Steven object. To create an object, that means you are supposed to provide some memory in the JVM. See, until now you have specified the primitive data type, how much memory it will be going to occupy. So here for floats or integers, you already know that this is the memory that will be going to occupy, and your Java knows that it was supposed to allocate 4 bytes in the memory when you are declaring a variable with respect to integer. Is my screen getting frozen? Are you guys able to see my screen? Omya?
Yes, Krish, I'm able to see your screen.
Okay. Yeah. So is it kind of blurred or is it coming after some time?
Actually, the sleep time has decreased, I think, so it goes off into standby mode every few minutes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, probably that might be a problem with respect to your internet, Adil. So probably it would be better if you can collect by using LAN connection. Okay. Yeah, come back to our discussion. So currently we have specified, so we already know that for primitive data type, it will be going to occupy certain memory in the JVM. So for integer 4 bytes, or for float it is 4 bytes, for character it is 2 bytes. But to declare an object or to assign memory in the object, it is not at all possible to allocate the memory by using the JVM itself. You are supposed to inform to the JVM that I want the memory for object called Krish, or I want the memory for the object called Lee or Steven. See, you can declare any number of variables with respect to your class. So that means, let us say, if you're here, you have declared only 2. But let us say you are writing some other class, and there it contains order details, which consists of order ID, order number, and order name, and associated telephone number, and all the remaining details.
So many of our students have given testimonials on how our training programs are. You will find them on kudzu.com and on our website H2KInfosys.com. On our website H2KInfosys.com, you will also find more detailed information on who we are, the courses that we offer, what each course covers. Also, if you're interested in a demo program, Please register on our homepage on the left-hand side. Just give us more information about yourself and we will send you a link for a demo class. The demo class is absolutely free. Experience our commitment by just attending an orientation workshop at no cost. Our team of faculty and advisors are here to guide you with the right information. If you still have more questions, please feel free to call us. Call us at 770-777-1269. This is a United States number. If you're calling from the UK, call us at 020-337-17615. You can also email us at training@h2kinfosys.com or h2kinfosys@gmail.com. Thank you for watching our videos. We wish you a great career in information technology.